Chapter 1. The opportunity appears. Mark's business trip was announced early Wednesday afternoon. That day, he pushed open the glass office door, the keys in his hand jingling as he walked in. With his usual arrogance, he tossed out a line, "I'll be inspecting the South District office for 3 days starting Friday. Don't screw things up while I'm gone." Normally, it would have sounded like his standard pressure tactic, routine, predictable, but this time, the words landed differently. This time, they cracked open a thin line across the frozen lake inside my mind. An opportunity. I looked up at him. At that moment, he bent down to place his backpack under his desk, relaxed, careless, completely unguarded. Mark always stored his private files, photos, and USB drives in the depths of his office drawer. He never brought them home, because his wife, Erin, was meticulous to a terrifying degree. He once bragged about it when he was drunk. "My wife checks everything. If I took anything home, it'd be suicide." Everyone laughed with him that day, but I remembered it now. That sentence was slowly becoming the crack in his armor. That same afternoon, he asked Kate to stay in the conference room to discuss a cross-department project. A lie? Nothing more. From the hallway, through the frosted glass, I could see their shadows, his leaning too close, hers recoiling slightly. His arm lifted, lowered, like he was testing the boundary of a touch. When the meeting ended, I rushed to find her. She was pale, voice shaking. He asked if I live alone. Then he said if I wanted, he could provide extra resources. I clenched my fist so tightly I felt my nails dig into my palms, but I knew I couldn't explode. One punch, and both Kate and I would be dragged into a swamp. He'd walk away from untouched. So I walked her back to the other building, then stood alone in the parking lot for a long time. The wind blew until the sky darkened, until the flames in my chest cooled into something sharper, not rage. A plan. The next 2 days, I moved like a true scout. Silent, patient, deliberate. 1. I confirmed the cleaning schedule. Marlene, the cleaning lady, did the weekly deep clean every Saturday at 10 a.m. The admin always opened all offices for her, including Mark's private room. She liked me. I often helped her lift heavy boxes. Thursday afternoon, I casually asked, "You coming in this Saturday, Marlene?" She kept mopping and replied, "Yeah, same as always." Manager's office too. A spark flickered in my mind, but I kept my tone calm. "Good. I might come in to catch up on some work." She didn't think twice. "You young people sure work hard," she laughed. 2. I studied Mark's key habits. Mark kept his key ring clipped to his belt loop, but at lunch, he hated carrying the whole thing and always left it on his desk, usually tucked on the inner side where others wouldn't see it. Friday noon, he went to his usual steakhouse. I got up, walked near his office, pretending to sort papers at the copier. Through the half-open door, I spotted the empty belt loop, and the keys lying by his computer. I didn't touch them. I only confirmed the pattern. He was still careless, still arrogant, still predictable. 3. I checked the surveillance blind spots the building cameras had for blind zones at the far corner of the copy room, the area in front of the storage room next to the janitor's supply closet inside Mark's office. Cameras forbidden. Using printouts as cover, I spent the entire afternoon checking angles and shadows. This was crucial. There could be no footage of me opening his drawer. All preparations continued quietly. No one noticed a thing. That evening, as people slowly trickled out, the office grew hollow with silence. I packed my desk and closed my laptop like any normal day. My heartbeat was steady, not excited, not nervous, sharp, like the edge of a blade. Mark came out, kicked his chair under his desk, humming off key. "Jason, you'd better fix that financial report this weekend. Otherwise, I'll embarrass you in front of everyone on Monday." I smiled. "I will." "I know you will," he smirked. Then he locked his office door, clipped the keys back onto his belt, and strutted away. I watched him go. His shadow stretched long under the warm hallway lights, like a rope tightening around his own neck. In 48 hours, the plan would begin. He didn't know it yet, but this time, he had given me everything I needed, with his own hands. Chapter 2. The infiltration and the evidence takeover. Saturday morning, I deliberately arrived a little later than usual. 9:40 a.m. The office parking lot looked freshly washed, almost empty. Only 3 cars were there, mine, Kevin's from accounting, and a grey van belonging to the cleaning services department. As I opened my car door, I saw Marlene receiving the master office keys from the building administration. She wore yellow rubber gloves, her hair pulled into a tight ponytail. When she noticed me, she gave a friendly smile. "You working overtime too?" she asked. "Yeah. Didn't finish the financial report." I lifted the folder in my hand on purpose. Marlene pushed her cleaning cart toward the hallway. "Okay then. After I finish cleaning the manager's office, you can go in. Otherwise the smell will kill you. There's some old food stains, I'll have to use the industrial spray." I nodded. "No problem." Perfect. She'd open Mark's office first, then head to accounting. That walk through the central corridor took about 2 minutes, just enough time for me to move. I followed her from a casual distance, far enough not to draw attention. Footsteps echoed down the long hallway, each one falling into place like a counted rhythm. She stopped at Mark's door, pulled out the key, and the lock clicked. K-A-tack. The door swung open. A burst of stale leather and faint men's cologne spilled out. I watched her lean a mop against the doorframe and pull open the curtains. Sunlight flooded in, making the dusty glass desk flash for a split second. "I'm going to accounting." "Close the door when you're done," she said offhandedly before pushing her cart down the hallway. Her footsteps faded, swallowed by the distant hum of the printer. Silence crept into the office. I drew a slow breath, stepped inside, and pushed the door until only a thin slit of air remained, just enough to look like it was being aired out after cleaning. Mark's office was exactly him, polished, over-chilled, and pretentiously arranged with his so-called photography works. Every picture was basically a shrine to himself, no landscapes, no structures, just Mark posing dramatically in random backgrounds, believing he looked profound. I ignored all of it. My eyes went to one place, the third drawer on the right side of his desk. He always tapped it subconsciously whenever he bragged, like he was guarding a crown, wearing the rubber gloves I'd grabbed from my home utility box the night before. I crouched down and slowly pulled the drawer open. The top 2 tiers were files. Folders, printed emails. I skipped them entirely. The bottom drawer needed more strength. He'd installed a simple latch lock, not secure at all. I slipped a small screwdriver into the gap and gave it a gentle twist. Crack. The latch snapped. As the drawer slid open, I saw it, a hidden compartment at the back, only visible if you knew the construction. I reached in. My fingertips brushed the glossy edges of stacked paper. I pulled them out carefully. A packet of photographs. A thick one. At least 4 inches tall. The weight in my hands felt like a stack of bricks. I didn't flip through them immediately. First, I scanned the room, the doorway, the hallway reflections, the window glare. No movement. No shadows. No witnesses. Only then did I look down. The first photo was Mark's face, close to the camera, smug, sweaty. Behind him, a woman in red lingerie, her hair covering half her face. The second photo, another woman, even more explicit, Mark holding her, his face unmistakably clear. Third, fourth, fifth, every picture was a nail in his coffin, every picture sharp enough to destroy a marriage, a reputation, and a career. I flipped through about half, enough to confirm the entire stash was fatal-level evidence, and none of the women were his wife. I didn't look further. Revenge cannot indulge emotion. It needs speed. I flattened the photos, slid them into my folder, then placed that folder inside a plain manila envelope to hide the shape. Next, I checked the trash bin beside his desk, yesterday's snack wrappers, a banana peel, and 2 crumpled sticky notes. His handwriting looked like chicken scratches, but I managed to decipher one. On 7 p.m., S Hotel, room 20 for another affair. I pocketed the note, not for use, but to remove any trace that I'd been inside his drawer. I scanned the office one last time. Everything was back where it belonged. The drawer wasn't pulled out too far. The broken latch was inside, not noticeable unless someone inspected it carefully. Every photo gone. The trash bin clean. No fingerprints. No disturbance. I slipped out just as Marlene's footsteps returned down the hall from the doorway. I whispered, "I'm done, Marlene." I left the door ajar. "Okay, thank you," she answered. I walked out and gently pulled the door until it looked loosely shut, as if left that way after cleaning. She nudged it with her shoulder, closed it fully, and never suspected a thing. I headed toward my own desk, each step steady, measured, controlled. The folder pressed lightly against my back. I could feel the photos shifting inside, but the sound felt like stone sinking underwater, heavy, quiet, full of power. All morning, I typed numbers, while Marlene finished her rounds. By the time she left, the halls looked clean and empty again, as if nothing had ever happened. At 11:05 a.m., I shut down my computer, draped my jacket over my arm, picked up the envelope, and walked toward the parking lot. The sunlight was harsh, the air crisp. I opened my car door and set the envelope on the back seat. Just as I was about to close the door, it hit me. I was holding the entire weight of Mark's downfall, not metaphorically, literally. Paper, ink, images, evidence. I drew in a deep breath and started the engine. From this moment on, the revenge truly began.